Man, Zion boy, let me clean my clean screen for you because this you out here being messy. Let me clean the screen. Boy, out here being messy, but it ain't your fault, man. It ain't your fault. Zion, we know what's going on right now. We know what's going on. Every every real man has gone through what you're about to go through because Moriah Mills has exercised her nuclear option. She has exercised her nuclear option. This is what has happened in pop culture, social media, current day social justice, is now women have toxic, degenerate women. I'll use that. I'm going to say that specifically. Toxic, degenerate women utilize their nuclear option when it comes to men. Now, for those who don't know the story, Moriah Mills is an adult porn. I don't know why they call it an adult porn star. Like there needs to there's children porn stars. I don't understand that terminology. Maybe that's why, because there's some secret child porn stars running around. But I don't know. She's an adult porn star. She is in the sex industry, and her claim to fame as a black woman with a surgically enhanced body is she sleeps with white men who fetishize against sleeping with black women. That is her entire claim to fame. Her entire claim to fame is that she is a degenerate porn star with a surgically augmented body that sells herself, prostitutes herself sexually for peanuts by sleeping with white men who fetishize against having sex with augmented black women. That's Moriah Mills. That is her claim to fame. That is what she's about. She's not about anything else. And what has recently taken place is somehow Zion Williams has gotten in touch with this woman, or she's gotten in touch with him most likely, because this is clear. That's what she's on right now. And this 30-something-year-old woman has started to have sex with this 22-year-old young man, rich young basketball player. And their affair continued until Zion Williamson had gotten another young lady pregnant. Once he got that other young lady pregnant, he did what he was supposed to do. He formalized the relationship publicly, took accountability for the fact that he got her pregnant, and went to a gender reveal with her and started building family with this other young lady. Moriah Mills, hearing about this, of course, loses her mind and goes on a spree of Twitter posts talking about all of the sexual exploits, that she's going to release the tapes, says that she might be pregnant as well, talks about how he was going to have both of them, releases text messages, pictures, goes on to get a tattoo of Zion, which clearly was a fake tattoo, on her face. And now, after doing all that and still not getting a response, doing all that and not getting a gag order stuck to her by a judge, or having his attorneys file some kind of restraining order on her capacity to release defamatory things about him, she now has said Zion Williamson is a woman beater. He's a woman beater. She can't hold it back anymore. The same man that she was professing love, come home, baby, it's me and you, it's us. Now, all of a sudden, he is a woman beater. And she's gone on social media, videotaped herself, crocodile crying, not a tear in the building. And it said that Zion Williamson is a woman beater the NBA needs to know. Of course, what is the attempt? It is the nuclear option to destroy his career, destroy his life, take away his livelihood, get him incarcerated, again, putting her in the firm pilot driver's seat of the victim position. Peace and blessings to you, Adi Al-Katani. Special good morning to everybody, and Mrs. Mariel. Yes, Mariel Odette. I haven't seen you in a while. And thank you, Adi Al-Katani and Domingo Scott. This is a saga that dominates our culture. Black women have done this to their own men more than we realize. This used to be something that would be how white women would claim rape on black men who they're in legitimate relationships with, but when the relationship is found out, in order for them to not deal with the embarrassment or the stigma, they would have to claim that they were raped. This is not this. This is a case of, again, a black hate crime against ourselves. This is another case of money bringing out the worst aspects of our character in respect to Zion, and in respect to this woman who simply just wants to live off of the bag of Zion Williamson. Not only is Moriah by herself, but there's another young lady too, Yemi, I think she's called, that is, barking up the same tree. All of these women are in scenarios where they're much older than him. They absolutely know what they're doing. They're not in love. They're in love with the bag. They want what he has promised them, and he's coming to the table. My son, I call him my son. I've been calling Zion Williamson my son since he's in high school because he's a big fella. And I'm like, I'm gonna take responsibility for him. He's my son. His stepdad is married to his mother. We don't hear anything about his biological because his mother hid him from me for all those years. That's a joke. This is satire, okay? This is satire. So I've always adopted on all our basketball forums, I've called him my son, my son, my son. So I'm gonna keep calling him that. He needs some guidance badly. He needs some real guidance because he has gone straight to the bottom. It's been a race to the bottom of deplorability in respect of what he has done off court and who he has decided to share intimacies with. I mean, you don't race to porn stars. Like, that doesn't make no sense. Your money should not take you to the place where you're racing to porn stars and you're offering things like he's offering, extremely luxury vehicles. Like, he's offering them an extreme lifestyle. A lifestyle that 99% of us cannot offer anybody. And he's not offering it to one or two, he's offering it to multiple women at the same time. And I'm sure these women were given thousands of dollars just to be in Zion's presence. So, yeah, she's pretty gross. And he wasn't trying to choose better. He was trying, clearly Zion Williamson likes girls with augmented bodies, right? Some of us do, a lot of guys do. Like, I spent a lot of time in Detroit. Detroit, boy, I gotta say, I love Detroit. I love the people. I love how they treated me in Detroit. But there's a whole lot of BBLs going around in Detroit. And sometimes, and don't get it wrong, sometimes these Detroit girls, that's not a BBL, that's them. But you can't tell because there's a lot of BBLs going on in Detroit. Everybody got a BBL. Everybody, grandmama got a BBL. Transvestites got a BBL. The dog, the cats, everybody got a BBL in Detroit. Everybody. And so that now becomes the new standard of beauty when everybody looks like that, or everybody's getting their body done, right? And we're talking about a 22, 23-year-old boy, right? And I will call him a 23-year-old boy. I don't care how many millions of dollars he has. I don't care what he's doing for his family. He's still a child in my eyes. And that becomes the new standard of what beauty looks like. And to us, to men who are much older, who have not dealt with the whole BBL generation, she looks freakish to me. That's a freakish look. That skinny legs and bubble booty and everything else, filling up your cheeks and all those kind of things that they're doing now. It looks freakish to us because we're not used to women looking like that, right? Just like, for me growing up from the 60s on, the weave phenomenon in elementary school and high school kids was, our high school girls didn't look like they look like now because they weren't buying, $600 wigs, $400 wigs in high school. That wasn't. Girls are literally working at McDonald's to buy a $400 wig. That wasn't a thing. Your mom didn't let you put on that much makeup in high school. They say, hey, scrape some of that off your face. Get some lipstick. That's it. Girls are getting, I call them stripper nails. Them long stripper nails, 13, 14, 15-year-old girls. So these young ladies are looking quite different. Quite different. Standard of beauty is looking different. And you can see through it. It's like, this is a little girl dressed up like a stripper. That's what it looks like for the most part. The clothes the manufacturers are making, they're not making clothes so that little girls can look like little girls. They make clothes, and the mothers it's hard pressed for many mothers to buy anything nice for their children who don't want them to look like that, because most of the clothes are stripper clothes. And to go further, the 45-year-old girl and the 45-year-old woman and the 16-year-old girl are buying the same clothes. They're dressing in the same outfits. They want to wear this. The 16-year-old and the 45-year-old, they're wearing the same clothes. They're getting the same hair. They're getting the same nails. They're doing the same makeup. They're putting the same eyelashes in. So you walk down the street as a man and you see a 16-year-old girl dressed like her 45-year-old mom. You don't know who's who. You don't know what to pick. You don't know what to do with yourself. Those signals are crossed. The 16-year-old boy in school is going to look at his 16-year-old girl the same way he's looking at a 45-year-old, right? Because what? That 16-year-old looks like a 45-year-old woman because they're wearing the same clothes. They're wearing the same makeup. They look exactly the same. They got the same hairdo. And if your mama got a little junk in the trunk, at 16, your junk's starting to come in too, firmer than mom's. So she looks like an improved version of mom. And if mom's fine, 16-year-old might be fine too. And now you got a problem. Now you got a big old problem because you're developing these little boys to basically want grown-looking women. And you're developing these little girls that they want to look like Moriah Mills. All right, good day to you, Brian Holmes. All right, little girls want to look like Moriah Mills. They want Moriah Mills. Now, what else do they want? They want the bag. Because once you want the eyelashes, once you want the makeup, once you want the $600 hair, once you want the dress, what else do you want? You want the bag, you want the Birkin bag, you want the mini bag, the Dior mini bags, you want all that stuff. You want the shoes, right? You want to ride in the same cars. You don't take the bus anymore. You're Ubering everywhere. You're not taking the bus. Are you crazy? You tell a 16-year-old from Toronto to take the bus. She'll laugh at you. She'll say, bus, drive me to school or let me Uber. Walk? She's not walking. She's not walking. My daughter don't want to walk nowhere. My daughter wants to be driven or she wants to be Ubered. And when she goes out with her girlfriends, it's the same story. You can't tell that little girl, here's a bus pass. She'll find a way to lose the bus pass or something because she doesn't really want to use it. So we have this incredible phenomena running around right now that is being perpetuated on that young generation and when you're young in money, when you're young with money, that doesn't make you smart, doesn't make you wise. There's no guidance for these kids. There's no guidance at all. Like Zion Williamson, he can do what he wants with his money. Nobody can tell him he can't buy a chick on the street because this is what he's doing. He's basically going out here purchasing love. And what he's purchased now is the toxic nuclear option of a demented porn star. Moriah Mills is a demented porn star. I am sure there's some psychological issues going on with her. I'm positive there's a lot of stuff going on with that young lady that she needs to get checked out, because the capacity to go from um, enjoying the exhilaration of sleeping with a let me be delicate about how I say this, a, a not well endowed Caucasian man pretending like it's the greatest thing in the world, to then going and saying, "Oh, Zion, you're the greatest thing in the world. I let you spit in my mouth." Come on, the girl said you got to go back and take a look. 'Cause I'm not gonna justify a lot of the foolishness that's come out of her mouth on this particular channel. But what I do know is that there is an epidemic. Just the Me Too movement is definitely not dead. That's where this whole thing's come from. Many of you have gone through that era, and let me be clear. This is not me saying that violence against women is something that doesn't take place. Um, Let me be very clear and say that there are um, incredible amounts of sexual assault and assaults against women. Women have to be more careful. Um, but this is not one of them. It's not one of those situations. This is not one of those situations. This is a manipulative individual who's taking advantage, and it happens too many times. Too many times. There is, and unfortunately, this is not an opinion. This is experiential. There's the jilted lovers who go in multiple toxic directions. They leave and start toxic lies against their spouse, against their exes. They or they plummet themselves into another relationship extremely quickly, trying to demonstrate to themselves more than everybody else. There are all these people are unstable. They're going to leave guy A, and they will be in a full-blown relationship with guy B in 2 weeks, and convince themselves completely that they're completely in the right place. That guy A, that didn't work out. Guy B, he's the next newest thing. The C route. C route is saying, I'm being rejected by a man who I love. I think he's abused me. And they start to now manufacture abuse that never took place. And this is the C route happening right now, which is always the nuclear option, right? And this whole thing about believe women, listen, it's absurd. I have too many brothers that I know that the lady simply called the police, and there was no investigation. They just came and arrested him. Now, one guy, I just spoke to him the other day, actually. The only reason he got off is because the young lady he was living with said that he dragged her down the stairs. So they came, they arrested him, went to court, and they did an investigation, very minor investigation, realized his apartment has no stairs. And then they said, well, it wasn't those stairs in the house he dragged me down. He dragged me down the stairs outside. They said, okay, let's get the video. Let's get the date of the video. Nothing took place that day. Nothing took place the day before. Nothing took place the day after. It was a complete fabrication. And this is the issue that I have, is that these women are not charged with mischief. Public mischief is the charge here. When you do something like that, it's called public mischief. My issue is that they're not charged. And public mischief, when you do something like that, when you desecrate a man's name, that doesn't go away right away. And that's why the same effort to desecrate his name is the same effort the law should do to make sure that that woman who lied is made a public spectacle. Like, the same effort, if not twice as much. She needs to be paraded around and called a liar. This woman lies. This woman lies on men. This woman makes up charges. She has cried wolf against a man. This woman, and it needs to happen like that, because the greatest thing a man cannot defend himself from is an accusation. Simply an accusation. He's a pedophile. Ooh. He touched my daughter. Ooh. Those things are not recoverable things. No, even if you go to court and get off, people will still sit there and think, I wonder if he really did that. I wonder if he really did that. We don't know the nature of the relationship Zion's had with this girl. We don't know if they met for coffee. We don't know but what do we think in our head? Ooh, Zion's a freak. Zion, you out here nasty, boy. We don't know. We have because what do? We take a quick ride with her on that roller coaster to the bottom. And we say, where there's smoke, there's fire. This woman is a notorious liar, clearly. Like, she's clearly out of her doggone mind. Like, has he been there? Has he been around her? Likely yes. Has he been in communication with her? Likely yes. But we don't know much else. And our imagination is going to run wild with us, because once we've eaten from that fruit, once Adam and Eve ate from that fruit, boy, the knowledge of good and evil, our mind continues to be evil. That's what God told us as he got off the ark. I'm not going to destroy the world for man anymore. The heart of man is continually evil. Our mind sinks to the bottom faster than it rises to the top. And this is what people like this hope for. They hope for the imagination of the mind. They hope for individuals to say, well, he's got money, he probably did it. They hope for the predilection to simply believe somebody because they make an accusation because they're a female. They hope that the predilection to consider someone guilty as a black male is something that just happens in our mind. No, not doing it. I'm not giving her the benefit of the doubt. Not giving anybody with that level of character the benefit of the doubt. Never would I give her the benefit of the doubt. She has no discretion. She has no capacity to have any decorum about her life, about herself. No, I would absolutely never give that female court gesture the benefit of the doubt. I'm not doing it. And I'm not saying that Zion is justified in some of the things he's done. And I'm not saying that, he hasn't made some incredibly bad decisions maybe when it comes to women, but I'm not going that far with her. I'm not allowing people to do that. And I think the reason these platforms exist is that we can make sure that we slow the roll. Because I tell you right now, if that boy would have made the mistake of putting a child inside of that girl, oh my gosh, bro, his life would have been incredible. And now, finishing that, he has made some very strange statements on social media where it seems like he wants to harm himself. It seems like he's frustrated to some extent, which has caused alarm to some people, right? And Zion's not alone with the mishandling of his social media. We know Ja Morant, who's in the same draft class, has also, and the list continues. These young men, this money will show you who you are. That's all I can say about money. Money will show you who you are. It will demonstrate. It will enhance who you are. If you want to be a guy who buys prostitutes, give him $100 million. He'll be $100 million prostitute buying dude. If you want to be a guy that builds orphanages in Africa, you give him $100 million, he'll be an orphanage building guy. But money will show you and show the world who you are. And the scripture says money is the defense. Money answereth all things, but what's the question? But the capacity for an individual to manifest something inside of who he is, inside of his character, boy, that's money does that to you. Money absolutely does that to you. And Zion is not using his money for good at all. It's unfortunate. It is unfortunate that our young black men have no guidance. I mean, this NBA, honestly, this generation of the NBA, I don't think it's different than the last generation. I think social media is letting us know things and see things that we know. Magic back in the day was doing some stuff. We know a lot of these guys, Dennis Rodman and all these guys. These guys were doing some weird stuff back in the day, and so Zion is, I guess, another casualty of a sensational lifestyle. He's just another guy with too much money, not enough guidance, Um, but this version of what these guys are doing is very, very interesting. Very interesting. We know Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was doing some crazy stuff. Bill Cosby was drugging women, but they said they everybody was using drugs in Cosby's day. So drugging women as opposed to facilitating drugs for women, that's the question. That's the toss-up, right? Because everybody was on drugs in the 70s. Everybody. You couldn't have a party without cocaine. Yeah, you couldn't have a party without acid or some kind of drug, right? So the allegations of Bill Cosby is that, oh, Bill Cosby drugged us. But you guys were running to Bill Cosby's parties looking for the drugs. Where the drugs, Bill? Where you got the drugs at? Then all of a sudden, oh, he's drugged me. Yeah, but you came back next week and you were drugged. And you didn't mind being drugged for years and years and years. You didn't mind Bill Cosby paying that hush money for decades and decades. And until Bill Cosby said, you know what, I ain't paying this hush money no more. You're like, well, Bill, you forgot that you drugged us. You forgot that you drugged us, Bill. All of us were at the party, Bill. Bill, we didn't sleep with you because you're attractive. We slept with you because you had money and the drugs were good. Mm-hmm. And this is the behavior that we've allowed to manifest. This guy went to jail after all these years, okay? And the statute of limitations on the nuclear option is incredible. I mean, they will resurrect a mummy and say, hey, we heard that you touched Cleopatra inappropriately here. King whoever, King Tut, whatever. Ramses, we heard you touched Queen Nefertiti. Let's put him in court. The statute of limitations on the nuclear option is it's incredible. Like, it's incredible that these ladies can call this out 30 years later. And I'm sorry. It's not a thing. It's absolutely not a thing. Grand Rising. Check for those who check for you. My brother. I don't understand this thing, man. I don't understand how people let these folks get away with this. What time is it? Because, I got to go. I got to go in a minute, but I got time for you. I don't know how we let them get away with this. I don't know. I really don't know. These liberal courts and this current day scenario here is incredible. And you know what? The only people that are going to fix this is women. The Bible tells you guys what to do. It says, older women teach the younger women how to be good wives. It's what Scripture did. Scripture put female community morality in the hands of wise older females. And the problem that we have is, if you do not have wise older females who are good wives, they don't have the capacity to tell nobody nothing. As you know, I don't have to tell you people this. You guys can look this up. Women are running out of their relationship. 81%. Black women, 8 out of 10 of you are going to just check out of your relationships. And not for good reasons, right? You're just going to simply check out. 8 out of 10. That's an 8 out of 10. So if 80% of you are checking out of your relationships, who are going to be sitting around to advise these young women to be good wives when the old women are checking out or running out of their relationships? And you got to pause. You can't blame all of us. Some of us guys might be terrible. Maybe got some of us. Let's say 15% of us are terrible guys. Let's say 15% of us are just absolutely atrocious guys. No business being in a relationship with us. Fine, right? Let's say 40% of us are, right? 80% of y'all are leaving, though. 80%, 8 out of 10. Same women that say they're looking for Mr. Right. The same women that said they're looking for, they're telling you what a real man is. How I want to be provided for, protected. I want somebody to understand me, love me, la, 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 la. Y'all are checking out fast. And guess who you're leaving? You're leaving to pick up the slack. Moriah Mills. Right. So if a guy's saying to himself, well, what difference does it make? I go get this nice, sanctimonious church girl, really nice woman, virtuous woman, good woman. You know, she's going to take care of me, love me. She's going to be discreet. She's going to put her body only with me, la, 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 la. But she's going to bounce the same way Moriah Mills is. I might as well stick with Moriah Mills. That's what these guys are doing to y'all. They're saying, you know what? As long as I keep buying and paying for her, she ain't going anywhere. These women are running out. Listen, it's not just the black women running out. White women are running out too. The divorce in Bill Gates, the divorce in Bezos. These chicks are flying out of their relationships, and they're not flying out empty. They're saying, no, 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 no. I'm not going by myself. Jeff, I sat here while you were building that empire, and I was making craft dinner. Steadily making craft dinner. I made the bed every day, cleaned the bathroom, and you know, I was making sure the kids got off to school. You know, 400 million. Give me $500 million. Give me $500 million for that. You know what I'm saying? This thing is not making any sense to me. Not making any sense to me. The church, oh, you're not 65% of Christian marriages end in divorce. 65% of Christian marriages end in divorce. So Christian marriages, the divorce rate in Christian marriages is higher than in secular marriages. So if it's 65% of Christian marriages and they're tired in the secular marriages, how do you get 81%? Because not everybody is married, right? So people who get together in these conjugal relationships, 81% of you ladies, you split, you leave. Guys don't leave like that. Some people say we're too lazy, whatnot. No, we nest. Guys nest more than y'all, you know. You know that? Guys get comfortable. They don't want to move their stuff. They got their little man cave. They know their woman. They got their little move, you know. They got their every girl that's been with a guy for a while. They know how that guy gets down. They know his move, right? He's got his one little move. You're used to the move. He don't want to learn. He don't want to teach them a new move or teaching that new move to somebody else. He's got the move. The move is down, right? Well, you know, these men are cheaters. These men are out here cheating all the time. And who are they cheating with? Who are they cheating with? Right? Again, I put it right back into the hands of women. Who are these men cheating with? You know, I've talked, they're not cheating with robots. They're cheating with women. Right? So who's creating this problem? I put it right back in the hands of these women. I've talked to women who's like, they've been in a relationship with people for years. I've never met their mother. I've never met their relatives. Relationship with guys for months. Oh, I've never really been to his house. I don't know what he does for a living. What's going on? What type of vetting process are we doing here, ladies? And so Toronto's the worst place in the world. Toronto, in my opinion, from zero to sleeping with you is the quickest atmosphere in the world. To go from I don't know you to we have just had sex, Toronto is the fastest city in the world for that, boy. I'm telling you, I'm absolutely telling you. These girls in Toronto talk about, oh, you know, I just took my time with him and, you know, it wasn't easy for us at first and he was just so patient with me. How long have you known him? 3 days. like it's basically that fast. Toronto, your relationship that you had, your bona fide great relationship, once that thing is over, I'm telling you, that girl is on the fast track to another man's bed quicker than any demographic of women I've ever met. Toronto is the city. You don't need to fly to Cuba. You don't need to go to DR. Okay? You don't need to be one of the passport boys or whatever they call them now. You come to Toronto. I don't care if you got 2 noses and 3 heads. You're gonna have a girlfriend in 20 minutes, and she gonna look good too. She gonna look good. I've never seen it like this. These girls on Toronto and these Toronto streets and Carabana's coming up. Whew. Carabana, everybody breaks up here in Carabana, this city. Everybody. Springtime, they call it spring fever. Listen, come July, I'm telling you right now, most of you, this is July. Carabana is August, the 5th. Your relationship is over right now. The next 2 weeks, your relationship's going to suffer. Men and women, Your relationship's going to crumble in the next 2 weeks, because in Toronto, yeah, man, they're getting ready, because all these chicks are going to come out. They come out of the woodwork. Remember Toronto. Toronto is the greatest mosaic on the planet. We've got everything here. We've got African mixed with Pakistani. We've got Egyptian mixed with Irish. We've got Tanzanian mixed with I don't know, you name it, Aborigine, all kind of stuff. And these women come out green-eyed, yellow-eyed, pink-eyed. They come out looking like, whew, where'd all these women's come from? And they come out, and a shortage of men. There's a shortage of good men in this city, and they come out hot and frisky, baby. And let me tell you something. They will be mating. They will be hooking up. They will be leaving people and getting back together with people. And what do they want to look like? They want to look like Moriah Mills. They're coming out with BBLs, eyelashes, makeup, hair. They're coming with their best. Behinds are on the road. They've been working out. They've been doing crunches. They've been doing deadlifts. They've been doing them glute curls. They've been doing all that stuff, getting ready for Caravana, because everybody wants to look like a porn star with a BBL. Everybody. And the sexual, I call it sexual handshakes, are going to be handed out, because women have sex these days like it's a handshake. And even the girls that carry on and say, I'm not Moriah Mills. I don't need a bag. I don't need money. They are still racing to the bedroom, because if it's not money, it's a level of companionship and comfort that is combined with sexuality. They want that, and they want it immediately, and they want exclusivity and control. It's a funny game out here in these streets, my friend. It's a funny game. And Toronto is one of the most egregious cities out there for it. And I've been around the world. Okay, nothing like Toronto for that. And you can go to Africa. Africa, you can get the same thing in Toronto, but it's an exchange. They're waking up in the morning and they're saying, hey, put something on the dresser. Toronto's not like that. These young ladies here are not. They're not even about. I can't even say they're about the bag. They simply are sexually liberated. I'll call it that in Toronto. Sexually liberated. And Moriah Mills is right in. The Pied Piper is playing for all these girls all over the place. Moriah Mills just doesn't want the regular dude. She wants guys with millions of dollars so she can live that lifestyle. And I don't understand, in closing, the justification, and this is me. A lot of other people, that's fine. They're fine with it. Girls are running around here talking about, I want to keep my body count down. I don't want a high body count, right? This is the new terminology girls are talking about. I want my body count down. Before they say, I want to be chaste and I want to marry my husband and I don't want to give my body to anybody. They're not using that term no more. They're just talking about, I want to keep my body count low. So all that really means is that a lady will break up with her ex, still keep having sex with him, because they don't want to be having sex with a whole bunch of people. It's not that they're trying to minimize the amount of sex they're having outside of marriage. They're just trying to minimize the amount of people they have sex with. Some girls are doing that. The other ones that are screaming about body count, they're just full of it. That's just talk. They can't help themselves. They're going to be sleeping with the next guy that comes around regardless. But Moriah Mills, the whole concept with Moriah Mills is, she's a prostitute. She's a porn star. She sleeps with people as her job. Why would you choose her to share your body with? Why do you look to her and say, oh, wow, she's been having sex with 20 guys a day. Let me go find her. That is the part that boggles the mind for me. That's what boggles the mind for me. It's like, why do I want to fall in line with a long line of men who have gone down that dirty road, that dirty hole road? I don't understand that concept. That is the thing that boggles the mind. Me personally, I want to see what your ex looks like. I'm that guy. I hope there's no ex. But at my age, I want to see what your ex looks like. And many times when I see that ex, I'm like, oof. That's what that you went from that to me? I don't know. I don't know if we can. That what's the relationship now? You guys still talk? Are you still in communication? Mm-mm. Most of the time, I'm very disappointed when I see what these girls go from, uh, especially in Toronto. And some of my exes, boy, it was a race to the bottom. I'm just gonna say it like that. It was a race to the doggone bottom. So, Zion Williamson, in closing, brother, I really hope that you get some, finally, you take the time to go get some lawyers. You go get some extremely good counseling, because you need it. Because why are you choosing these kind of girls? They shouldn't even have your phone number. And you cut this girl off at the legs right now. You make sure she can't say another thing about you without somebody coming and reclaiming part of her augmented self. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make sure that this young lady stops her nonsense right now. She's going to go on every talk show who will let her on. She's going to speak. She's going to promote her own website. She's going to have more. She's going to have sex dolls called Zion Williamson and Moriah. Just now, bro, you have no idea what you've created with this girl, and you better hurry up and stop it now, because she's going to make you look like crazy out here. And if it's true that you're out here texting and tweeting stuff about hurting yourself, I'm gonna tell you right now, my son, man up. It's par for the course, buddy. Man up. At the end of the day, she's not going to be your legacy. Your legacy is going to be what you do on the court. Man up. Don't worry about that. Turn off your Twitter. Stop looking at your social media. Get in the gym. Okay? Eat healthy. Go out there and be everything that they said that you're going to be. And be a good father. Primarily, brother, be a good father. Go find yourself a good Bible-believing church down there in New Orleans, and put your nose in that Bible, and get your nose out the Bible. Go to the gym, deal with your family, go play some basketball, and stop running behind whores. Period. Can I drop the mic there? Because that's what needs to happen. Modern women are switching from men to women. Listen, modern women right now, they sleep with men and women. Okay? 99% of these girls out here right now, they will have sex with a woman. Yeah, some girls will facilitate their man's additional requirements, but girls are interchangeably having sex with men and women, and they're not calling themselves bisexual. They're not calling themselves gay. They will simply just have sex with a woman. Period. And again, we see everything out here in Toronto. You Americans, y'all think you got, listen, we're the fourth largest city in North America. We're the largest liberal base in North America. Remember that. Okay? We do it first here. The gays had rights first here. Prostitution was legal first here. Women were legal to walk the street naked first here. Okay? Toronto is, you guys might be Sodom, but we're doggone Gomorrah. Okay? I'll tell you that right now. So, it's the hardest place in North America to start to run a Christian church. You can't start church out here. Nobody goes to church in Toronto. The few little black people might go to church, and even most of them are not going into the building, since COVID especially. So it's a very difficult place to have Judeo-Christian views in this city. All right? You want to have a gay church? It's full. An ethnic church, like a Korean church, maybe a Jamaican church, they might be full. But in general, church is tough here. Church is a tough sell here. All right? Yes, we have many churches in Toronto. It's many. But starting ministry, sustaining ministry here, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. And any pastor that says it is just lying. I've seen the biggest churches to the smallest churches bust to pieces, membership slashed. They're holding on in here. All right. So, but God bless you. Thank you very much, Carl McKenzie. I appreciate that. Chunky says, I do an excellent job educating people. I'm trying. I try my best. I try to keep it about what's happening right now, and I try to bring it home. One of the biggest things that I've identified and seen in my life is that my Christianity and my lifestyle has to be a balance, because when I was just 100% Bishop Brereton in the church, only in the church, I realized my effect and my reach was limited. Um, and not that anything is wrong with the church in general, of just being these, folks that are already in church. I got a good friend of mine. She's only known her pastor. Sorry, her husband. She's a church girl. Please go check her out on Minister Lorianne Smith. She sings this song I posted. She's a national treasure. She's a young lady, always been in the church. Good girl, always been in the church. When I say stuff to her, she's like, I don't know anything about this stuff. I've never heard of this stuff. And I love her. I love the fact that she is just the example of a virtuous woman, and her children, her husband, and everything like that. But I realized with myself that a lot of people that I reach are outside of the four walls of the church. And people will sit down and listen to me speak about the Bible and speak about God and speak about life in this kind of non-orthodox way. So I appreciate God is allowing me to do that. However, I would love to be back in full-time ministry. I would love to be back doing church like I used to do back in the day. I love the old church. I love the old school type of holiness church. That's my feeling. I love that. I love my kids to be raised in that. I want my grandkids to be raised in that. I love that. But I also know that my voice is for other things too. It is for other people. It's to reach out past the context of the Sunday church. And so I appreciate you appreciating me. All right. So God bless you guys. I'm just about to go start work. I'm watching this gull wing. A gull wing. A gull. Jeez, I never seen one of those. A gull wing Tesla. That's bad. Oof. These kids rich out here, boy. These kids rich out here. Mr. 999. All right, Mr. 999. Dropped his daughter in a gull wing Tesla. It's Toronto. All right, guys. Bless you. Love, peace, and hair grease. The brown skin assassin. Shoot never passing. Del K. Brereton. The real spiel. To all the Cyclopses that are in the building. To Miss Ann. To Yvonne Gentles. Adi Al-Katani. To all of the people who come and regularly just watch the spiel and watch the Shiloh Institute. I was told Yvonne was supposed to be on with me on was it Saturday? She had some things that came up, but she said I should do a part 2 of the altar. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. And any topics that you want to discuss. I like to go by inspiration. So if I see something that you want to discuss, want to talk about, absolutely. And pray for Zion Williamson and his family, because, brother, if you're out there talking about killing yourself over a little girl talking about you, you're gonna be killing yourself trying to kill yourself every doggone day. Understand me? Don't get into that. Don't get into that. And the statistics are that the predominant amount of individuals who are killing themselves are boys 15 to 29. Girls try more, boys succeed. So when young men start talking about killing themselves, you should take it seriously. I take it seriously. Zion, stop that nonsense. Go play basketball. All right? That young lady, she's doing what she's doing. That's her job, to be inflammatory, to go out there and to do things the worst way. Your job is to go bounce that ball and make us happy. God bless you. Part 2 of the altar. Holly Jones, you want that? I'm gonna come with it then. Part 2 of the altar coming next. God bless you guys. I'll talk to you soon.